Stratford. Got a review of the whole cinema actually before we go in. Ticket system really quick. You have to go to the food kiosk to get your tickets. Just find out what film I'm watching. If I missed something, have to check it. You know by the comments in the title anyway. It's been a while since I've been here, so I've got Screen 4. Interesting films coming up. But yeah, thank you Picture House for the ticket. This is inside the cinema. It's quite good because it's not spacious. You have to go to the kiosk, the food kiosk, to get your tickets, which is a bit further up here. I just want to show you something. I'm going to pan around in a minute. To show you the £3. You only get that offer if you are a member with Cineworld. These are the prices at the bar. Do pause the screen to check them out if you want to see them. This is showing you around the bar and upstairs where we are, and there's screens. My screen's just there, number 4, as you can see. That's where I'm sitting chilling out for a minute. Here we have inside Screen 4. As you can see, it's quite darkish, but you can see enough to see what you're doing. You can see where the screen is, and the seats are. They're old-fashioned seats. So they fold up. This is how much leg space I got. This is at the back. I'm sitting at the back. Mind you, don't forget. You can sit other seats. There's so much space. I'm surprised there's not much space, but my foot's just there. I was a little bit cramped, but other than that, okay. Guys, we're here to talk about the film I watched, Mrs Harris Goes to Paris. Also, the cinema itself, the one in Stratford. If you're a member, you get the tickets for £3. They don't pay so much within in the period. I forgot what the prices are actually, but the food's worth it. The beer's from £5, but £2.50 to £3 saying is the coffees. Tea's about a couple of quid. It's worth it because they got a bar upstairs and it's really nice, and it's open to 9 o'clock at night. So if you decide to see a film and you say, "Oh, I think to myself, oh okay, I want to buy a drink, but I want to do it after the film," it's not a problem. You can do that. It's worth it as long as you're going to see the film. Yes, and the cinema itself, just to let you know, the cinema itself in Stratford, it's really good. It's easy situation, not far from the station. Booking up, you can book it up. Say you're going for the day, you want to go to cinema in the evening, late evening or something. You can book it up before the time, hours and hours before the time, and do your shopping and come back afterwards. It's best to do that. Trying to think for a minute. Yes. Getting in was the staff were really awesome, very helpful. Because I was stuck to films what to watch, and they recommend Mrs Harris Goes to Paris. And let me explain to you about the film. The film was something. I was sitting in the cinema. The cinema was comfortable. Toilets were clean, you know. By the way, toilets were really clean. Really smells nice. Apart from one toilet, tiles were missing. Yeah, and the lighter was out, but. Other than that, it was okay, clean. You can't complain. The cinema itself was nice. The film itself, Mrs Harris Goes to Paris. It was a romantic film. There's a few comedy slang, East London slang words in there. It made it a bit of comical, a little bit. The story itself, it was something I didn't expect, and I know it's got a good review and everything. But from my point of view, because I'm a young guy, I saw it differently to everyone else. Everyone was seeing it as a fashion thing. Someone was seeing it as a old 1950s theme. It was interesting because it's in 1957. They played the song, one of the Back to the Future songs. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, Back to the Future, yeah. Got the Back to the Future vibes. I think it's Johnny Be Good, I think the song was. Yeah. The film in general was really interesting. I like the way that the story was lined out. I really got into the film straight. At a few first minutes, I was like, oh, what am I watching? Sort of thing. And then I realised what the story was about. And I really, really got into it. And yeah. Music, excellent. Like the music. I love the soundtrack. I watched the whole credits. I always watch the credits to the end. In case there's anything to see. Worth it in general. If you like 1950s, if you like classical, if you like romance, there's a few bits of comedy in there. If you like fashion, if you're into arts and crafts, it's your thing. I recommend it. It's an interesting film. Something interesting, it caught my mind. because the part in the film was talking about Christian Dior, which is a designer name. I was fascinated by the black satin material. I'm curious, where can you get that from? Because I realise as a material, if you buy it as a dress or a top or an outfit, it's expensive. But if you buy it as a material on its own from Hobbycraft, it's a lot cheaper. You're looking about, it's £3.50 for a yard. For a metre, £3.50 a metre. Something like that. Yeah, £3.50 a metre. So it can't be bad for the price. You know, it's really worth it for the price because you make stuff. If you're good at making stuff, go for it. But yeah, I'm surprised how the film was portrayed. Oh, because when I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, oh, these old people coming in. Oh, what have I let myself in for? What film am I watching? Oh, it's like, oh no, what am I watching? Yeah. But it was worth it. I couldn't complain. I would like to thank Picture House for the ticket. I really appreciate the ticket to go to the cinema. Much obliged. Hope I've covered enough for this Picture House. But I do recommend it. It is a nice cinema. I think yes, it. The man said the actual price will be £7.50 full whack. So it can't be bad compared to some cinemas you go to that are quite expensive. £7.50, I can't complain. So I do recommend seeing the film though, because it wasn't my kind of thing, but when I got into it, I really got into it. So yeah. So if you like romance, bit of comedy romance, it'll be your cup of tea. But if it's not your cup of tea, I wouldn't recommend it. Until next time, guys.